Hey everybody, welcome to my review of the Mezco the Batman. I've been waiting for this figure for a while. Mezco takes a long time for their releases, and I'm really happy to finally get it. I was a big fan of the movie. I think it's the first Batman movie that's truly ever gotten Batman right. Really, it's a really good noir detective movie, and gave us a side of Batman that I don't think that we've seen enough on the big screen, and a movie where I don't think Batman got overshadowed by his villains for once, which is really nice. So naturally, I was really excited about this figure. I like the design. I think that it reminds me a lot of like Batman Earth 1, I think, that design where it's just kind of, to me, this is like year 2 or 3 of Batman. Like, he starts out with the classic year 1 costume where it's just all cloth and everything. But now he's starting to integrate armor and other gear into his suit, and it looks kind of janky. It looks tactical. And then, over the years, he refines it more into something more traditional, like we see in like the Batman Arkham games. So I'm hoping that we kind of see that progression with his suits in the Robert Pattinson trilogy. Doesn't sound like he's going to be integrated in with the rest of the DC universe, which I'm okay with. At first I was sad about that because I really would like to see him interact with a larger universe, but at the same time, I think that it also gives us an opportunity to see a different kind of Batman in the DC universe of like the more swashbuckling, globetrotting Batman that we'd see with Neil Adams and Danny O'Neill with their 70s run. So anyway, enough about that. Let's jump into the accessories and see how this looks. Okay, so first off, we have the wingsuit. I'm pretty sure that's what it's called, a wingsuit. I really like the material that it's made out of. I like that it has functional zippers and everything, which I think is really, really cool. I'm probably going to be honest with you guys. I'm not going to use this much. Maybe I can have, if I'm doing like a bat cave display or something, I'll have in the background, but I don't plan on using this much. But I do like it as like an early way for Batman to glide around before he figures out like a glide cape or something. But yeah, it's really well made. The only thing I get really scared of is the Velcro at the bottom. Like, it feels like I'm going to pull the Velcro patches off. So that's a little scary. Other than that, though, I think this is really well made. I'm just not going to use it that much, I don't think, in my display settings. But, I'll find something for it. So let's get this out of the way. And let's see what else here. The next thing we got is the grapple gun. He comes with a couple. And I think it's really cool the way they did this is that, how it kind of clips into his gauntlets. They also have the retracted versions there, so you can clip those in, and then you can clip these in to the hand and everything with his gauntlet. And it actually comes with a bendy wire this time, which I really like because it really adds to the posability of it all. Because, I have my, even though the leg broke on it, my old Sovereign Knight Batman, I really, really like, that figure, but in terms of posing the cape or like his gadgets and everything, like his grapple hook, you really can't do that. So I'm really happy that there's more of these kind of accessories. Okay. And then obviously we have all these little heads and whatnot. Yeah. This one's pretty good. I wish that we had a little bit more of a variety with the heads, We have the Bruce Wayne one, which this one looks really good. Very like sweaty, dirty, like he just got off of the crime fighting. It has that look to it. We have this one right here. He's kind of making the Michael Keaton face, and we have a teeth gritting face here. This one I had to kind of heat up the horns to get those to work again, to get those like in a better position. We have a mask here, which is really cool for him to have. I really like when they include stuff like that. We've been getting that a lot with figures lately, including Marvel Legends, where you can they have like a mask, an unmasked version for when you don't have that. And he has like his flares or whatever they're called, and then more a little grapple gun accessories. He's got his batarangs and more like little gadgets, like really little ones too. Even the pins too. You can put the pin in for the grapple gun and just have him pointing it like before he shot it off. So a lot of little things. I don't even know if I'm gonna use all these. Like it's kind of like the Sovereign Knight Batman was like that too. But what I like what they did with this one is they actually included hands with batarangs already, which is really cool. So you have to risk them falling out. And he's got this one too with like the taser hand, which is really cool. So I really like that. So, and then of course he comes with the regular Mezco stuff. Like he comes with the stand and all that other good stuff. So I think I have some other accessories actually on him right now, so I'll show you guys those once we go through the figure. Just a quick heads up, there are some things I'm disappointed with this figure. Actually, it's only one thing that I'm really disappointed with. And I don't think that it's... I really love this base, by the way. I'm sorry everything's so dusty. I live in the country. It's a dusty area. But, okay. Let's get him up here. So, overall, if we're just going over the sculpt, I really like this figure. I don't actually think the neck looks as bad as some of the other collectible reviewers have made it out to be. I don't think he looks too... It looks too stubby or whatnot. I think it actually looks just fine. He's got handcuffs that he comes with. I clipped those on here. He's also got one of the little guns that he has. I forget what he uses this for in the movie, but he has this. Slips right into there, and then he has his other like baton thing back here. The other one, this one keeps slipping out, so I'm gonna have to put like a little piece of tissue in there or something. And then here is a little gauntlet thing that kind of pops in and out, or for the grapple hook in his gauntlet. You can switch those out on both of his gauntlets, which is really cool. And yeah, so the sculpt I really love on this guy. I think he came out great looking. I think this is one of their better Batman figures actually, for what it is. And I get that this is a hard suit to make articulated in this form, like cloth goods. It really depends on the material that you use, and I think that's where the one problem comes in. We'll go over that with the articulation. But the cape is really cool. It's got a really nice, like, leathery material. I like that I like how basic and early in Batman's career this looks, because he doesn't have the traditional, like, wing cape, and his boots are still, like, very kind of tactical and basic looking. So, I'm really looking forward to them really, like, Batman just refining his suit into something more traditional over the movies, if they go that direction. I hope they do. So, yeah, there's that. And then as far as articulation goes, that's where the only problems that I really have with this show up, and it's kind of big. First off, I guess this is just more disappointing, is that you can't really drape his cape over him, the kind of classic Batman look where he drapes it forward, but he doesn't really do that in the movie. At least I don't recall. So you can actually take this cape off, which is really cool. I like that. I think that's a cool ability. You just remove the head, pop it off, and then it can come off. And here you got like a little thing in here where you clip it on. So I'll just show you guys how to do that. You take this and hold on. There we go. And then you just take this out, put this back up front. So yeah, I think that looks pretty cool. It makes it easier to get the wingsuit on. They didn't include one where he doesn't have his bat symbol in. So that was surprising, because I'm pretty sure, if I recall in the movie, this actually comes out and he can use it as a batarang. But for articulation, this is a wired cape, by the way, too, so it's really great at holding poses and whatnot, so there's that. But as far as the articulation problems go, his arms are fine for the most part. I can see where some of the fabric's stretching a little bit more than I want it to, and it gets really, this fabric that they use gets really, really bunched up, which makes articulation a problem with this. It's not like the Sovereign Knight or any of the other suits where it's more of a spandex. This is a lot less stretchy or anything like that. His waist rotation is very, very limited as well. His neck rotation is fine. He's can look up. Actually, he can't look up that much. Yeah, because the collar's blocking. But he can look down a lot, rock his head, 360, all that. His arms don't bend a whole lot, but they bend enough. And let me see here. His legs are the biggest problem for me. I at least Batman's not one of those characters I need to pose him in insane poses like Spider-Man or something like that. Just basic fight poses and whatnot. And I feel like you can get that because he can do the splits about that far, and you're really putting pressure on this fabric. And his legs move like this. That's how far out. That's how much he can do. So you really have to get creative if you're going to try to do a running pose with him. And then if you have it stretched out, it's even, because it bunches up like it did, you really have a hard time getting any sort of a bend at the knee. This one's fine, but then as soon as it goes back, yeah. So I don't know. It's one of those things where I feel like you're really pushing the figure, and it's a little bit stiffer than I was hoping. I'd like it to just be a little bit more flexible. And I really get afraid of breaking things and splitting the seams with this figure. But I'm still able to get him in some basic poses, that I think are going to be okay. You just you have to get creative with this one. So if you're looking for a more articulated version of this figure or of this suit, I think that your best bet is probably the Mafex version. If you're looking for one in 6-inch scale, I don't have that one yet, but I do like Mafex, and so I'm sure that there's other figure reviewers who have reviewed it that can help point you in the right direction with that. But as far as the Mezco one goes, for what it is, I think it's beautifully sculpted. I think that it's the gadgets that it comes with are really a lot of fun. I really enjoy it for what it is, again, but I just I wish that he was a little bit more flexible for the articulation. That's the only thing that I think really holds this guy back from being great, especially when you have other high quality version figures that are this version of the Batman suit. So yeah, that's pretty much my thoughts. So we'll go into size comparison. And there also is, actually, before we do that, there is one thing I want to show you. If any of you guys are planning on doing a head swap or doing any sort of customizing, let me see here. So the Sovereign Knight heads, they just kind of sit on there. The peg isn't big enough for it, unfortunately. So what I did was I just got a little bit of a paper towel, tore off the end, and then just kind of stick that in there, and it works perfectly. And I think this actually looks pretty good on it. If you're looking for kind of want to make your own Earth 1 suit, I think that would work fine, and I think this works perfectly well on there, to hold a pose or whatever. So yeah, I think this head actually doesn't look too bad. And, as a customization base, this can actually work pretty well if you want to do any customizing with it or kit bashing. So Yeah, this is actually one of the things I was excited to do with it, is see how like this head sculpt looked, to make a like a more comic booky Batman. Maybe swap out the belt or something, and I'll see if maybe there's something I could do to improve the articulation a little bit on this guy, but I'm sure there's not much. And you know, early Batman, he's not gonna be able to move probably as well as he'd like to. But yeah, I'm really happy with that. So we'll take this off, and you have to do that for all the Sovereign Knight head sculpts. So we're gonna put him back, put his head back on, and actually we'll put his cape back on for the size comparison too. Why not? Stay there. Okay, so first off, we got the Mezco Superman. I really hope Mezco does a version of the James Gunn Superman, because I actually do think that those two look really good next to each other. I'm going to be doing some customizing with him pretty soon, or maybe make a separate figure or kit bash or something to make him a little taller and put a little bit of a better suit on him. I'm going to use components of this figure and whatnot still. So there's that, and then we're going to do the Mafex Hush. Oops. I'm going to put Superman up against there, and I forgot to get him in a standing pose before we started. Okay. Table's a little off, so hopefully you can see here, but yeah, he scales well with both of these. I really hope Hush shows up in this trilogy for the Robert Pattinson movies. So I did a lot of photography with these two, and he looks good next to the Superman. I think that these two scale well together because he is a little bit of a smaller Batman figure. So yeah, these two I think look good together. And then we have the next figure that I plan on reviewing. He's a little bit of a bigger guy, so we're going to do the Marvel Legends Doc Ock from Spider-Man No Way Home. And then we have him here next to Batman. I think they scale well together. You know, I always imagined Otto Octavius is a little bit shorter, but you know, that's okay. I think that these two look okay. If you want to do like a multiverse crossover or something, these would look good together. And lastly, let's go with these are really all the figures I have out right now. DC Universe Classics Martian Manhunter. And I think he looks good next to this one. Yeah, I love this figure. I'm going to swap him out though for the McFarlane Martian Manhunter as soon as I can find one for a decent price, because he does have a defect with his arm, so that's a little disappointing. But yeah, looks good. Okay, so for my final thoughts on this guy, I like him. I think that he's a good figure. Like I said, I just wish the articulation was better. So if you're okay with that and you don't want to do like any extreme poses, you know, I think he should be fine. And you know, if articulation is a way bigger factor for you with you know, this type of this version of Batman, then you know, you'd be better off going with the Mafex version or something like that. But overall, I like him. So that's it for me, guys. As always, if you like what you see, go ahead and hit subscribe. You can follow me on my social media that's linked down below. I'm going to be reviewing the Marvel Legends Dr. Octopus next, so that'll be going up next week. And then I'm going to do a comic book review, because I had a creator reach out to me and ask me to review his comic, and I said I'd be happy to. So I'll be focusing on that next. And then I'll be going over the rest of the stuff I had in my unboxing video. So like the Mafex Scarlet Spider, the Mezco Fantastic Four set, Doctor Doom, Green Goblin, all that kind of stuff. And then we'll see what happens from there. So I want to say thanks for watching, guys, and I will see you later. Take care.
from the black hole. It's the astro floating through the astral plane. I maintain this wisdom, I'm the vassal. Baby, I'm just burying these rappers like a time capsule. Let my mind travel through dimensions, check this pimpin'. I'm just trying to find a piece like Olamar.